The following is not suitable for children under the age of 18. This show contains coarse language and sexual themes that may be deemed over the top, as well as my own personal views. Please note all characters of the show are fiction and are not targets of anyone or anything, but are made up for complete satire. Hello my masters and welcome to the Sky Genie Show, the absolute worst show ever. We're on episode 29 of the Sky Genie Show and we are officially on the road to WrestleMania with a couple of piss breaks on the way. Yay! I'm also talking about WWE Fastlane and Elimination Chamber as those piss breaks. We're also at the time of year where it's WWE Logic. This guy beat that guy, and it doesn't make sense. WWE Logic. Roman Reigns has a baby face. WWE Logic. Stephanie McMahon still on TV. WWE Logic. Vince McMahon given the old scratch and sniff. WWE Logic. So really, it's WWE Logic Mania. Running wild. WWE Logic, pretty much telling you to go fuck yourself. Well, at least it's not like TNA Logic. I work for TNI. Whoa, settle down there, TNA Logic. You'll give yourself a brain aneurysm. Now, I was going to sing a song and do a dance for you, but I cannot sing or dance. There's no video of it, so there's no fucking point, is there? So what was that for? Just a pointless waste of time. Pretty much like Monday Night Raw, which we will be reviewing on this episode of the Sky Genie Show. Also with Smackdown, that has not happened as of recording. So I guess we could move into everyone's least favourite part of the show. Talk about my hairy ass crack. It's big and it's hairy. My ass crack. It's now time for everyone's favourite part of the show. For those wondering about Genie Jr. with the wedding and pregnancy update, well, I got some kind of sad news. The wedding could possibly be off. Some unfortunate fuckwit hit the llama with their car and apparently has lost the baby. And the llama is apparently in critical condition. Makes you think, huh? How life is. And for those wondering, it wasn't me. But we will stop at nothing to find this arrogant asshole who decided to hit and run. Man, it was like this is planned. Like they didn't want Genie Jr. to get married and have a kid with a llama. Who could possibly be against that? So please, a thought and a prayer to Genie Jr. and his llama family. He is a special boy. Funny stuff. Don't go away, because after the break will be the news. For fans of the Sky Genie Show, please also make sure to check out Wrestling Soup. They drop at 9:30 on Thursday. Join hosts Anthony Missionary Thomas and Joey Numbers as they lightheartedly talk about the world that's happening in professional wrestling, as well as other current events. While over there, please make sure to check out the Saturday Morning Shitbox. Have your voice and question heard as Mish and Joey answer questions on their thoughts of professional wrestling or anything else going around in the world. That show drops on Saturday morning-ish. The weeks it doesn't air is because they're doing pay-per-view Sunday. Yes, whenever there's a WWE pay-per-view, Mish and Joey usually review it, sometimes with John Draper. They also have shows on Stitcher and iTunes. If you want to catch the boys live, check them out on Mixlr. For interesting discussion and debates on professional wrestling, check out Johnny Florida, Michael Corvin, and Old Man Jenkins on Wrestling's National Committee. They talk a wide range of topics on the world that is pro wrestling. Check them out on Wednesday at 9 p.m. on Mixlr. Are you looking for a good laugh? Then check out Getting the Corner. Getting Da Corner. Da Corner. Da Corner. With hosts Yuck Nasty and Dogger Baby. Every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. on Mixlr. Check them out on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on Mixlr. And we are back. And now for the wrestling news. Jerry Lawler opened up a barbecue restaurant business over the weekend in Memphis. He has stated that he plans on franchising his company and going worldwide. We'll see how that turns out. Chris Jericho has suffered a minor ankle injury in the Royal Rumble during his brawl with Brock Lesnar. No time off is expected to be taken. Rich Swann was also injured on Raw as he suffered an ankle injury during his segment with Neville. He was seen backstage at Smackdown wearing a boot and walking on crutches. No word at this time on how much time off he will have. Don't go away. After the break, the reviews of Raw and SmackDown. For fans of the show, please also check out the Don Tony and Kevin Castle show. Don Tony and Kevin Castle show is a hard-hitting, with brutal honesty type show as they give their views on the world of professional wrestling and WWE. They're also on Stitcher and iTunes. If you want to catch them live, listen to them on Mixlr. For my masters who are wondering if there will be Sky Genie shows throughout the Christmas New Year period. So sorry. Not for the normal show, but check out the holiday edition of the Sky Genie Show. There you will find I review old wrestling shows from the past. I review them to today's standards. And to make it interesting, I won't even know what I'm reviewing until I do it. Of course, I'll know before you, because I have to record the fucking thing, don't I? But it's filled with gags and more as well. So check out the holiday edition of the Sky Genie Show right here on my channel here on YouTube. If you're looking for a very professional show to listen to the Solomonster Sounds off. His show, smokes this one entirely, is a very informative show. Join Jason Solomon as he gives his thoughts on the current events of professional wrestling. Catch his show on Podbean, Stitcher or iTunes. Also check out Jason Solomon's YouTube page where he does extras for pay-per-view shows or interviews with wrestlers in the business. Jason has interviewed the likes of Diamond Dallas Page, Bob Hardcore Holly, the legendary Jim Ross, and even Booker T. Definitely a show worth checking out. And we are back, and now for the wrestling reviews. And now for the review of Raw. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho cut a promo, goes on about how he beat Roman Reigns and proving Mick Foley wrong. Puts over Chris Jericho, who went 61 minutes in Royal Rumble. It was actually 60 minutes and 13 seconds, but who's counting, right? Braun Strowman comes out and wants his title match. It was promised by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens tried to think he forgot about it. Then Strowman shows some footage of Kevin Owens saying he would give him a title match. Mick Foley comes out and makes the match. We then had Chris Jericho versus Sami Zayn in a really great match where Sami Zayn got the win. And from what I'm guessing, he's getting a US title match. There was a backstage segment with Cesaro, Sheamus and Bayley. Then with Charlotte and the Club. Then there was a recap of the storyline between Triple H and Seth Rollins. There was a backstage segment with Stephanie and Kevin Owens. Then we had Tony Nese versus Mustafa Ali. And after a good match, Tony Nese gets the win, with no crowd reaction. Post-match, Austin Aries goes to interview Tony Nese, and in an Austin Aries way, asks what he thinks about his critics. He says he doesn't care, and walks off. Seth Rollins out to confront Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie says Triple H is not here, and he is afraid that Triple H would end Seth. Then go on and on. Stephanie says Seth should apologize to him and Triple H. Seth apologizes for Triple H being a coward. Then would go to the office, go to his house, in front of his kids, to beat him up. Goes on and on. She says she lied, and that Triple H is coming to the arena to confront Seth Rollins. Cesaro, Sheamus and Bayley versus the Club and Charlotte. After an okay match, Cesaro, Sheamus and Bayley get the win. There was a no-needed backstage segment with Stephanie and Mick Foley. Neville comes out and cuts a promo on winning the Cruiserweight Championship. Then berates the fans. Rich Swann comes out, tries to talk to him. The crowd is dead. And they start brawling. There was a backstage segment with Sasha and Bayley. Then there was a backstage segment with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. So after the break, for the WWE Universal Championship, Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman. I thought it was a pretty good match. For the most part, winner via DQ was Braun Strowman when Roman Reigns interfered. Sorry, I meant to say, at the beginning of the show, Braun Strowman puts Jericho through a table. After the match, Reigns takes out both Strowman and Reigns takes out both Strowman and Owens. Fucking tongue-tied there. Backstage, a car shows up, and it's Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Lesnar and Heyman to the ring. They make a challenge to Goldberg for WrestleMania. We then had Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. That was a squash match. The bell rang before the ref called for it, so it had a botched finish. Nia Jax wins by submission. After the match, Nia Jax won't release the hold. Bayley comes down to make the save. Kinda. After the break, backstage, you see Sasha Banks being taken back by the referee and Bayley. The trainer's room. We then had Kaz and Enzo versus Rusev and Jinder Mahal. Texas Tornado tag match. Only fitting with them being in Texas. There was nothing special about the match, but Kaz and Enzo got the win. Backstage, Triple H arrives to the arena. Triple H out to the ring. He cut a promo on Seth Rollins about how he took Rollins under his ring and made him a star. And he spat in his face. Like your typical Triple H promo, went on and on and on and on and fucking on and on and on and goddamn motherfucking on. Finally, Seth Rollins comes out to confront Triple H. On the way to the ring, Samoa Joe blindsides him and beats the living piss out of him. Chokes him out and leaves him laying in the ring. Overall, besides Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar appearing, it was a very lackluster show. And now for the Smackdown review. Show opens up with Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles backstage watching the WWE title match. AJ wants his rematch, but Shane and Bryan's focus is on the Elimination Chamber. They announce the participants in the Elimination Chamber. Ambrose, who was one of the participants announced, enters, and they make a match between AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose. Then Cena comes out to the ring, cut a promo, doing his usual bullshit, puts over AJ Styles, and talks about the Elimination Chamber. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton come out. Wyatt mocks the fans and goes on and on about the Elimination Chamber and how he will be WWE Champion. He introduces Randy Orton, who is the 2017 Royal Rumble winner. Orton says if Cena gets past Bray Wyatt, then he'll have to deal with him at WrestleMania, and that he will take the title and set it free. I wonder if Randy Orton's going to take the championship and just like put it in the middle of a paddock somewhere and say, "You're free! You're free!" I don't know, I got bored. Wyatt and Orton go to attack Cena, but then Luke Harper appears. Shane McMahon comes out and makes a tag team match with Orton and Wyatt versus John Cena and Luke Harper. So it was Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton versus John Cena and Luke Harper. Got 2 ad breaks. The match was meh, and Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton get the win, with Orton pinning Cena. And I immediately went on Solomonster's page on the thread site and said, just because Orton pinned Cena means that we're going to get John Cena versus Randy Orton next week, where Cena will get the win. By God, I was right. I could book this shit. Although if I was booking this shit, I wouldn't book fucking Orton and fucking Cena. Now, I have no hate for John Cena. I have no hate for Randy Orton. And quite frankly, I like Randy Orton. Randy Orton 2009 was the best Randy Orton heel run ever. But seeing this feud again, it's not needed. WWE will tell it. It's the greatest feud of all time. No, it's not. They have no chemistry whatsoever. This is Vince McMahon on drugs, or Linda McMahon in Senate. Okay, moving on. We had James Ellsworth, dressed up like Yuck Nasty, shout out to Yuck, introduces Carmella, who is facing a jobber that JBL absolutely buried. The winner after a squash, Carmella. We then had Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler. This was an okay match, but fucking hell, we don't need to see this again and again. I believe this is the 5th or 6th fucking time in a row that we've had this match. Even with a heel turn, it just shows that WWE has nothing for this man. Well, especially between now and WrestleMania, because he's definitely going to get lost in the shuffle. But then he should be used to that. After the match, Ziggler goes to take off Kalisto's mask, but Apollo Crews makes the save. Here's another guy that's fallen. When he got signed, so many people were saying how Apollo Crews is going to be the first full black WWE champion and all this and that, and look at him. He's ready for a pink slip. Now, I like Apollo Crews. I like Uhaa Nation, or however you say it. But I could easily see this guy being in the group of people getting released after WrestleMania, just for the simple fact he is not over. And maybe that's WWE's fault, but maybe it's his fault also for always smiling all the time coming out to the ring. And I would love to see him higher. I definitely would. I don't see it at this point. We then had a backstage interview with Becky Lynch and Naomi. And after the break, we had Becky Lynch and Naomi versus Alexa Bliss and Mickie James in a tag match. Almost fucked that up. I thought this was a great match with Becky Lynch and Naomi getting the win, but I thought the wrong people won, especially with Mickie James in the fold. If it were me, I would have put Mickie James over to win just because you're trying to establish a heel and you need to establish heels. Great match, but wrong finish. There was a backstage interview with American Alpha. They issue an open challenge. So after the break, the Smackdown Tag Team Champions, American Alpha, come to the ring, and so do the rest of the tag teams. And there's this big, giant brawl that breaks out. And it went over a commercial break. I'll admit, I liked it a little bit. We then had a backstage segment with Nikki Bella, Natalya, and Daniel Bryan. Too much bitching, didn't care. Daniel Bryan had the same thoughts I did. And then we come to the main event. Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles. This was an okay match. Nothing like their feud before. Miz and Baron Corbin caused a distraction for AJ Styles to win. After the match, Miz hits his finish on Ambrose. Then Corbin comes in, who takes out Miz and Ambrose. By this time, AJ Styles is already on stage. Overall, the show was there, but I'm going to say it, just like I put it on Twitter. The Royal Rumble, Raw, and Smackdown all had good matches and good moments. But overall, the three shows were the most lackluster shows I have ever seen. None of them had me excited for WrestleMania. None of them had me excited for even the next pay-per-view. And we get Randy Orton and John Cena next week. I mean, do we really need that? And I swear, if this is what we get leading into WrestleMania, now, I will not watch the show. So I decided to do a show for you all, and I'm going to stick to it. So, what I'm going to do going forward, if these shows, Raw and SmackDown, and even a pay-per-view, are all shit, what I will do is that I will attach a show, whether it be old, like I do with the Holiday Edition, or an indie, something different, and I will attach them to this show, the Raw and SmackDown reviews. Maybe it was just a bad week for WWE, and it's like me, burnout from the Royal Rumble, because let's face it, there was an NXT takeover with a Royal Rumble. Then you have Raw and SmackDown. Takeover was 2 hours. Royal Rumble was 4 hours, so that's 6. Raw is 3 hours, which is 9. And you add SmackDown, that's 11 fucking hours of one product. One that was fucking good. 2 hours were good, which were NXT. The next 9 were fucking terrible and lackluster. And I'm so disheartened by it that episode 30 that will be this week will be non-WWE at all. With every 10 shows leading up to the 100, I want to at least do something special on each show. Now, as of recording, I didn't plan for it beforehand. So now episode 30 that will be up later in the week will be a special because it will be non-WWE. Now, what will I review? I don't know at this point. Hopefully there will be shows. I mean, I can always find shows. Anything independent, even if it's old. But that's what you will be getting. In fact, I won't even do any news of WWE unless it's something breaking, like a Chris Benoit tragedy, or an ending of career, or something. It has to be something, and not a lackluster thing like this episode with a couple of ankle injuries. If it comes to the point that I don't have a news segment, fine, I'll do more reviews. And that is what I might do from now on. Thinking about it, if Raw and SmackDown are so lackluster, then the next episode I'll do, which will be later in the week, will be non-WWE at all. So I'm sure you people that are listening are probably sick of the WWE product yourself. Now, I don't hate WWE. I mean, if you're complaining about it, you care about it. This to me is a negative show, and that's not what I want. I take my shots, but that's for fun. So that'll be it. And that'll be it for this episode of the Sky Genie Show. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on my website at skygenie.weebly.com. And over on my Facebook is the Sky Genie Show page. On Twitter, it's SDD916. I'd like to thank you all for listening, and see you next time. I gotta take a shit. Oh, wait, I'm still recording. Bye guys.